morning. I'm Keith Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Charlene Chamberlain. Char, good morning.
Good morning, Keith. How are you this morning?
Good. Got some coffee in my hand as usual. And the weather's looking, I know it's snowing out, but it's not real freezing cold,
no,
so I'm cool.
It's about 30, so it's a heat wave.
And you know what? My nose is itching a little, and that means spring, guys, because that means my allergies are kicking in.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to make the prediction right now. We're going to have spring in the next week.
So the groundhog was wrong.
Yes, the groundhog was wrong. They should put my nose up on there.
Well, maybe we'll do that next year.
Okay.
For morning coffee.
That's right. You know what, Char, we're going to do that. I'm going to make the prediction.
The nose knows.
You know, we're going to put the groundhog up there in my nose. So.
See who makes the right prediction.
That's right. So what do we got going on this morning?
Our guest this morning is the lovely Bonnie Hall. Bonnie Hall is the owner of Bonnie Hall Inc., I-N-K, and she's been practicing the science and art of permanent cosmetics for over 25 years, 22 years. She's also been an instructor for permanent cosmetics for both primary trainings and advanced medical and cosmetic micropigmentation trainings. Welcome, Bonnie. Thanks for coming on Morning Coffee. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Keith, do you have any questions?
I have tons of questions.
I know you do.
I know what we talked about. Now, tattooing.
Yes.
Tattooing, what you do versus, someone's getting work on their different technique, different ink. That was another thing I wanted to ask.
Different depth.
Yeah.
Different depth.
Yeah. Actually, the depth is the same. It's just that when you work on the body and you work on the face, it's a whole different animal.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know that our face is exposed all the time to the elements, and where a lot of parts with the tattooing it's covered up. So our bodies are so smart. Our skin is so smart. So it wants to survive. So what happens is the more you're exposed to the elements, the tougher it gets.
Yes.
Right.
So I've actually taught a lot of tattoo artists, and what they'll tell me is when they go to start working on the face, they have to move much slower because it's almost like working on scar tissue on the body. That's how strong our.
Interesting.
So if I have a woman that is golfing and out in the sun all year long, her skin is going to be much tougher than someone that's protecting their skin all year long.
Right.
So that's one of the differences, and the other difference is. The skin on our face, the cells turn over so much quicker.
Yes.
We heal so much faster on the face. So our bodies exfoliate more. So the permanent makeup will not last forever like a real tattoo, which is kind of nice. I've had my eyeliner done for over 20 years. When it was originally done, it was jet black, and now it's like a nice charcoal, and it's softer, and I like it it's more age appropriate now.
Let's talk. Let's back up for a minute. Let's talk about permanent makeup. What areas of the face do you actually apply permanent makeup to?
So the biggest procedure that we do are eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Most everybody I've ever met, even people with eyebrow hair, need their eyebrows done permanent because it just is going to make them look so much more beautiful, a better shape. You can really accentuate the arch.
Stop at the pencil every morning.
And it looks more natural than makeup.
Yeah.
Then probably the next procedure is the eyeliner, and you can do it as natural as right between the lashes, or you can do something dramatic.
Okay, I gotta stop for a second. I have ink, and I couldn't imagine on your eyelid.
And right at the lash line.
Oh, doesn't that hurt?
Well, I use a topical cream that numbs it, and it really doesn't hurt. It's a very safe procedure. Your eyes are closed, and we don't use any ink either. We use pigment so that it's a softer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know regular tattoo, they don't use that stuff, the numbing cream.
No, they don't use numbing cream.
No, they don't. So this is more, I'll say more medical
type.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Very cool,
Yep.
very cool.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And then of course we have lip procedures, and again you can do it so that you're just making your lips a perfect shape.
Well, you know what? Even up here on my lip, the camera guy, you stay right where you're at. But even right here, like you see how it's like kind of distorted. It's not distorted, but
next time.
No.
Yeah.
Bring your tools.
No, it's just the filling to make it like sharp on edge.
Yeah. I've actually done a lot of men, for permanent makeup, and for the same thing, like they might have a scar, they might have, their scalp, they might have missing hairs or a scar there. So you can it doesn't have to look like makeup. You can do
No.
it for
Just
medical.
enhance-
Can
enhances.
we
Yeah.
call it something
We
else?
can make you beautiful. Yes, well, for men we actually I call it micropigmentation.
Okay,
Oh,
that sounds great.
I like that.
I don't want anything
Yeah.
saying cosmetic.
Or you know, tattooing, you know.
Tattoo,
Right.
yeah.
Male
Got my
tattoo.
lips tattooed.
Yeah.
Man tattoos.
Man tattoos. There you
Yeah.
go.
Now, Bonnie, I think you mentioned that you can also fill in the lip with a little bit of color
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How do you, oh, that must be very tender though.
Well, again, the numbing creams. I
Mhm.
have to tell you, like, back when I first started permanent makeup, it was in 1992. And we really didn't have the numbing creams we have today. And,
Oh my gosh, what did you use?
well,
Ice?
I used to have to send them to, like, a dentist, and they would inject them, just like at a dentist.
Like
but-
a Novocaine
Yep,
injection.
but now we don't
Wow.
have to do that. Our numbing creams are incredible. And so it really doesn't hurt the whole time you're getting worked on.
Now, is with the color, is the, because for color, you're using more than one needle, at least for regular tattooing. Is it
Yep.
the same
Right.
way?
Yeah, so it's so interesting that you asked that, because when I do lips especially, I generally use about 3 different needles. So our needles are our paintbrushes.
Mhm.
So I will use a small needle to get precision, and then when I want to create that soft shading, I'll use a bigger needle. And just like tattooing, I will also use water to dilute it so you have a nice faded out
Yeah,
effect.
so
Yeah.
it's not all of a sudden you have a bright red smear on your face.
Yes,
Now-
exactly.
Now, I have a question that's come up, I guess it's a myth, or is it true? People allergic to shellfish,
Mhm.
it's because of the dye that's in the
Okay,
shellfish. Ink comes from that. Now, I have ink, this is before, I got my ink before I got allergic to shellfish. But,
Really?
Yeah. But, is it really the same ink? Or is it,
Yeah.
in today's world, it's different, in today's industry, it's different?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that there's a lot of different, even with tattooing ink companies that make products. Not all, some of them are organic, some of them are
Mhm.
inorganic.
Right.
Squid ink, I think, is one of them, right?
Yeah, but all
Yeah.
like with our pigments, they come from natural sources.
Right.
And I can only tell you that I just have never seen an allergy to our pigment,
All right.
ever.
Well,
Like,
we're gonna knock on wood when we get off. this
yeah,
thing,
knock on wood.
okay?
No, but I mean, even people that can't wear makeup can
Right.
wear permanent makeup. So it's
Right.
really interesting.
Yeah, and I think that, I guess it depends, nowadays, like you said, everything's natural and stuff like that. But it was just a question that was always coming up.
That's an interesting
And
question.
even like, I don't know if you guys follow like NCIS, the crazy.
Oh,
one
the
that's-
show?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
crazy lady that's in the lab that gives always,
Yeah.
messes with.
Yeah.
She, in real life, she was using a hair product. I don't know if you guys saw
Right.
that. Dye.
Right.
And she went to the hospital, her lips swelled up, all this stuff.
Probably wanted the
You know what I mean?
anaphylactic shock or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
from
because
it.
we got to be careful what we put on our skin.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So
I
that's
agree.
good to know. I mean, I guess they're conscious of something.
And one of the biggest questions is ask if it's food grade. So for instance, like yellow, the yellow that's in butter,
Mhm.
it's a food grade, it's edible, we can eat it. So in permanent makeup, you want all your colorings, you want them to be food grade so that they're safe for the body.
Right.
Right.
But I agree, like, you have to be really careful about what you
Yeah.
put on your skin and your hair, and
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
they say if
butter
you
was
don't,
colored.
if you can't eat it, then
Don't use
Don't
it.
use it.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
use
right.
it.
And I gotta tell you, and this is for you guys, because for you ladies out there, I know you might believe in some things or not, but I know that like putting lipstick on and even lip balm, I get after my girls, they say that you ingest that
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
to where
Yeah.
there's a lot of it
Yeah.
in your stomach.
Mhm.
So if I was a woman, I would want to get something more permanent.
Or
and-
something that tastes good.
yeah, something that tastes good, but I would want to get more permanent stuff, so I'm not ingesting that.
True.
Yeah.
That's bad stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm actually on the lookout, like one of the things in my business, I also have regular makeup and
Mhm.
and products and things, and I'm a big believer in just trying to find things as the most natural that
That
you
you
possibly
can.
can.
Absolutely. Once the pharmaceutical world and all the other ones try to put their little thing on it, that's when we get bad
Yeah.
stuff in our system.
Yeah, I tell women all the time, like coconut oil, sunflower oil, organic,
Coconut.
great moisturizers,
Mhm.
even for like aftercare for like nourishing the skin is a great
Yeah.
product. And a great exfoliant is I use organic unbleached sugar and lemon.
Yes,
And-
I do
Yes,
that too.
yes.
It's
I do
incredible.
that
Who
too.
just said that the other day?
I don't know, but another good thing you can use is also powdered vitamin C.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Powdered
yeah,
vitamin
right.
Powdered vitamin
Yeah.
C and just kind of rub it into your
Yep.
skin with a little bit
You
of
know
water.
who said that? The Caroline.
Oh, I wasn't here for
Our
that.
massage
Yeah.
therapist said something
Yeah.
Yeah.
along those lines. Very,
Yeah,
very cool.
That's great. Bonnie, who would be a good candidate for permanent makeup?
So you have to be at least 18,
Okay.
and I can tell you that my oldest client was 92,
92.
and she got her eyeliner and eyebrows done. She was so cute. So really anybody is a candidate for it. It's more of who wouldn't be a candidate. So there are some medical conditions where you would have to have medical clearance in order to be
Right.
able to get the procedure done. So one of the ones is lupus that we have to
Yes.
have clearance on, and there are different types of lupus. So there has been times I haven't been able to work on somebody, and then some things, if someone's on Coumadin, they can still get it done. I just need to have medical clearance.
Right. Because of the bleeding.
Yeah, and probably the biggest no-no is if someone's had an organ transplant.
Oh,
You just don't want to risk them rejecting that organ, so
Right.
we just say clear.
yeah.
So it's more
That
of
would make sense.
who isn't a candidate more than who is.
Mhm.
But I really think it's for everybody. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what it looks like. You know,
Yes.
there's good and bad work out there. So
Mhm.
sometimes
Absolutely.
they'll see, you know, somebody with blue eyebrows and they'll think,
Oh,
oh, I don't want
yeah.
permanent, you know, makeup. But
Right.
it really can look like real hair. I mean, there's
Mhm.
times I'm working and I'm doing my little hairs and I have to keep moving the hairs with my Q-tip to see what's their hair and what's the hair I
Wow.
did. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That
amazing.
is cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you said, do you do hair on the head, the scalp?
Scalp?
Yeah, so it's huge in the African American community. They'll do their whole scalps.
Really?
Yes. And it looks great on them because they're dark skin and the color's dark, so you don't see like a big variation.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, when you shave, it's really close to your head.
Yeah, it looks really
It
well
looks
because you
good.
can actually do little follicles. I'm not a big fan of how it looks on fair skin, but what I do is when men have had hair transplants and they either decide to shave close to their head,
Mhm.
they're left with scars sometimes in the back of their scalp, and they almost look like white smiley faces.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what I do is I can actually put color and follicles in that area so that it's undetectable.
So blends.
And what's great about the permanent makeup is the intrusion of my needle actually will make the skin healthier and softer. So a lot of times I've had guys that come in, they have pretty significant scars where it's raised and bumpy.
Mhm.
And by just doing the follicles and the color, they'll come back to me and it'll be flat. It's amazing.
Nice.
It really
nice.
helps to, you know, make the skin healthier and smoother.
Now,
Very
you
interesting.
also do tattoos for like breast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Medical
actually
tattoo.
medical tattoo. You create
An areola.
a nipple or whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, so
I'm
And
all
I
red.
have to
I'm
say-
all red now.
I
I'm
have
blushing.
seen, I have seen Bonnie's work in that area, and it's magnificent.
Yeah.
You would not know
Really?
the difference.
Really,
It's
that's
pretty
pretty
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
it's all-
amazing.
Because I think what they have to do is they usually, if they try to put one on, they usually use the bottom skin of the big toe. They said something
It's-
like that.
That I don't know.
over the
That's
years,
kinda rough.
they've tried different parts of the body to create a nipple. And what they found, once they found medical tattooing, the tattooing is much more natural. The skin's easier to work on. You're not working on like toe skin or other parts of the body.
Yeah, toe skin.
Ew.
And a lot of the, you know,
Athlete's foot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What happens when you want a foot rub?
All right.
Stop.
Stop.
Stop right
Yeah.
now.
Okay. It's
but
bad.
it's a great procedure.
Yeah,
It is.
it's,
You know, it's just bad. But I know that I would rather have it tattooed
This
on.
is a great
Yeah.
alternative.
Yeah, and it really looks natural.
It
Like
does.
You
Yeah.
really can't tell, and the women just feel whole. It's like their
That's
final
the most
step,
important
and they
part.
just feel great. I mean, my sister had a double mastectomy a couple years ago, and she said that it felt like she was looking at 2 mounds of sand.
Mhm.
And so once she had the areolas there, it just
Yeah.
made her feel more. And it's really for them. It's not for their husbands or their boyfriends.
Right.
It is.
No,
it's for
Like
their.
you're putting yourself back together.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know what? And you know what? I think the majority, and I'm glad women feel this way. I mean, look, you know, beauty is within here.
Yes.
So, you know, do things for yourself.
Absolutely.
I really believe that, and I'm glad you said that. You know, she was doing it for herself. You know,
Yep.
I mean,
I have not met a woman yet that was doing it for someone else.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad of that because you shouldn't really go around life trying to please.
I've actually
you know.
had women that had double mastectomies or unilateral years ago and never thought that they wanted that. They just felt almost like it was vanity or something.
Yeah.
So when I was teaching at the school I worked at, we'd have them come in. We never charged anybody that went through cancer. It's a complimentary service.
Yeah.
Right,
That's nice.
that's nice.
And we'd have them come in, and we'd say, you should do it, you'll feel good. And when we do it, the way they look at themselves and how happy they feel, and they're sorry they never did it sooner.
That they waited.
It's like it completes them. It's amazing.
Very interesting. Now, do you, can you raise it from the way the procedure that you do? Can you raise it to give it a little bit of...
That's a good question. So all the surgeons that now are doing the reconstruction they're amazing. I mean, it's just incredible how far we've come.
So they kind of give you the canvas.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and a lot of times, we're working on scar tissue. We're working on different color skin, different types of skin. But they do have techniques. Each doctor does it a little different, where they can actually have it protrude out.
So there's extra
Yeah,
skin
a
there.
little bit.
Yes, but it doesn't always stay, or it won't stay like they originally had it.
Right.
So when we're coloring it with our machine, tattooing it,
Right.
we can actually create the illusion that it protrudes
You can create
even when
that.
it's flat.
Shading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can just
And
create that. That's awesome.
Believe it or not, some of the younger women that are having the procedure done, they're telling their doctors they don't want an actual nipple that sticks out. They want to be flat because they never have to wear a bra again. And
Oh.
now they don't have to worry about someone poking through their t-shirt.
Right. There you
So
go.
we just create the illusion.
Okay.
We want your opinion on that now.
I'm not a boot guy, so,
Okay. Yeah.
if you tattoo butts, I'm good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave my secret away.
Uh-oh.
No, but that's interesting you say that, because I think, when I was younger, my ex, she got a boob job.
Right.
I mean, she was completely flat, and I didn't care either way, but she did it for herself. But I think that as she got older, the back hurting.
Right.
She's like, Jesus, I don't know if I should do
Yeah.
this.
She's looking for a reduction now.
Yeah, but that's really
Yeah,
bad. You don't
I
want to
know.
go that way. I mean, so
I
it's
know.
Yeah, that's another thing I do. Actually, women that get reductions,
Mhm.
Yeah.
They have a lot of skin, I guess.
That's
well, what'll
what
happen
it
is they actually will move their own nipple.
Mhm.
So they take a lot of skin away, they lift them, and then move their own nipple. And then I can also work on those scars as well. So
Yeah.
it's not always, from cancer. It's also
Right.
from any surgery, really, you can work on the scar.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's very cool.
Bonnie, what if styles change? Let's say we have our eyeliner done and our lips and everything, and as we grow older and the styles change.
Right.
It's not 100% permanent because it does actually fade over time.
Yeah, and I try to educate women when they come in, don't do a trend, and don't do your Saturday night makeup. Those
Yeah.
two things. Do something that makes you look more natural,
Right.
so when I do an eyeliner, there are some girls I will do the wings and the whole bit, but most people I will just do what's called a lash enhancement.
Right.
So it's going between those lashes. It's meant to make the eyelashes look thicker,
right.
and your eyes look younger.
Mhm.
Same thing with brows. You're not trying to do a trend. You're really going with what looks good with that particular
Right.
face.
Right.
What's going to make that face look younger, bring out her cheekbones, her eyes. It's all about where you put the arch. So I try not to do anything unless that client wants
That's
it.
very
Twist in my
harsh,
arm.
Right.
Yeah, I try to stay away from trends and just stay with what looks the most natural.
Mhm.
So.
Well, now that I think we're ready to go to commercial.
Yeah, we're gonna go commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Ahead with the ball.
Football.
There's a shot! And it's When I discovered the one
Terminator Mustang. Unleash yours. The new 2013 Mustang.
Хочешь знать, что я сделаю с тобой? Сначала я покрошу тебя на мелкие кусочки, а потом возьму и посыплю на большую чашу.
We're back with Bonnie Hall of Bonnie Hall Inc. and you are watching and listening to Morning Coffee with Charlene and Keith. Bonnie, we are so happy to have you on the show, and it's been great hearing about all of these wonderful permanent makeup procedures that you offer, especially the medical versions of it. I do have a question for you though. How long does it take for each procedure? Say if I wanted to come in and have my lips outlined and then filled in, how long and how many visits?
Well, each procedure usually I recommend 2 visits. I like to do things really conservative and natural and build on the color and layer the color in there. And there's about 6 weeks in between each visit.
Oh, okay.
You want to. The skin heals very fast, but you want to have the skin underneath completely healed.
Right.
So that's intact, and that takes a full 28 days. So you top on whatever it takes for the skin to heal, and then plus a month.
Now, is that the same as regular tattooing, where you're going to get a little bit of a peel?
You do. You get a little bit of exfoliation. You lose more color with permanent makeup than you would a regular tattoo. It lightens and softens a lot from when you first come in, but it looks much better when it softens. So the eyebrows, there's really no downtime. They're not swollen. They look just dark and makeup-y the first week.
Right.
So when I have a blonde that comes in, I usually give her some mineral powder to use that week because they're kind of dark for her whole coloring.
Yeah.
If I have someone with dark skin, they're just going to look great, but more makeup-y, more like a pencil or powder that you would put on. And it takes about 7 to 10 days for them to completely exfoliate, so where they look.
So they don't
healed.
really blister or peel or anything. It's just like they would just kind of slough off.
Yeah.
But you would do a blonde eyebrow?
Well, I'm blonde, and so
Yeah.
my eyebrows are more of a taupe color.
Right.
So I generally don't do a blonde color. Well, you can. I have women that are very fair that have a light color, but everybody usually needs a frame,
Okay.
So the colors are darker than what their hair probably would
Gotcha,
Right.
gotcha.
be. A little bit darker. Like a white gray-haired woman would probably have like an ashy color.
An ashy color, right.
You know.
I would have a dark brown.
Yeah.
Right.
You would do like a dark brown.
Right.
And then
That's amazing.
and one thing I didn't touch upon is ethnicity. We always ask ethnicity on our consent forms, and people ask me why, and I always tell them because if they have something in their DNA, like say you're very fair, but you have say a African American mom or a Native American grandmom, believe it or not, that ethnicity affects the color the way it heals.
No kidding.
So when I'm mixing my color, I'll add like say a little drop of orange into my formula so that you don't turn gray. So it's just one of the little things that we have to do when you're working on the face. So the eyeliner, all the procedures, first time I tell them 2 hours.
Okay.
It's probably an hour's worth of work, but with the drawing, the mixing color, all that stuff, about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Right.
Eyeliner, it takes, the next day you wake up puffy, and I give you,
because I guess you've
Yep.
been in there in those lashes a
It's
little
on
bit.
your eyelid.
you're okay that day, the next day you wake up puffy. Not too bad. There are some pointers I'll tell people to do so that they're not as puffy the next day, but eyeliner heals the fastest, so it heals in about 4 days, 4 to 5 days, very quick.
Did you ever do like a guy's mustache or anything like that?
Well,
You thinking about that?
Well, you know what? Look at this.
I know.
See, it's gray. I mean,
Well, you get some.
Well, I
shoe
can't
polish
change.
for
I
that.
can't change the hair color. But if somebody has a scar, a guy has a scar, yeah, absolutely, I could do it. Like if you.
I'm just wondering if you ever had that's interesting. That would be
The
interesting.
guy wanted a permanent mustache.
Permanent
That's very
mustache.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't do crazy stuff. But if he was growing it and he was missing it and it was always there, absolutely.
Well, fill it
you
in.
know what, my brother, once in a while wears his beard or whatever, but he had like, whatever it was, where it's like a spot there.
Yeah.
where he
Doesn't
couldn't
fill
grow,
in.
it doesn't fill in. And,
She could do that
something
for
like
you.
that,
Yeah, I definitely could do that. And it's
Okay.
amazing, you really can't tell.
Better than a marker.
Yeah. And so then lips, they probably have the most downtime of all the procedures. So socially, they're probably the only one you have to worry about. So giving yourself 2 weeks for the healing. They're going to be chapped on and off for about 2 weeks straight.
Okay.
And then when they peel, they're awesome. They're great. Yeah.
What do these procedures cost? Is there a price range?
Yes. So anywhere, it depends on who you're going to, obviously, and what part where you live. But I charge anywhere between $300 and $700, depending on the procedure. And of course, like we didn't touch on, but I do color correction and I do something called salt removal.
Okay, what is that?
So if say someone comes to me and their makeup is not good.
Permanent makeup.
Permanent makeup.
Okay, someone else did it and
Someone else
they're not
did it.
happy with it.
They're not happy. It could be a weird color. Look, if it was blue, I can actually put like an auburn or an orange over it and it'll turn it brown.
Right.
But sometimes the shape isn't good. So if somebody has a bad shape, I can actually take, it's salt and saline, any kind of salt, and I tap it into the area that I want to remove. And the salt is a natural purge. It gets under the permanent makeup, turns into like a little scab, and when the scab leaves, the color's gone. And it's not a one-time thing. Usually it's between 1 and say 3 treatments that'll
Right.
get rid of it. But it works incredibly well. And
And it's natural.
it's natural, it's safe, and you
You're
can
not
get rid of-
lasering anything.
Yep. Actually, it works better than laser in some cases on the face.
Mhm.
Now, I don't remove any body work because it's too hard to get that out on the
Right.
body. But the face, it works incredible. I remove it all the time, so it's
Nice.
nice to know that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So Bonnie, where can the folks find you?
Well, I actually work at a few locations, but my main location is my new place I just opened up. It's in Westmont, New Jersey.
Okay.
And you can also find me on the internet, and it's BonnieHallInc.com, and on Facebook the same way.
And Bonnie, you also have a Monday makeover blog. Talk about that a little
Yeah, so I've been a life coach in my past, and I'm obsessed with anything having to do with health, beauty, anti-aging, nutrition, food. So I started a Monday makeover blog. I do every week. It's on my Facebook
Okay.
and on my website. And I try to give helpful hints to help you look younger, feel more beautiful, and all that. I love it. I love writing, so it's one of my favorite things to do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let our listeners one more time tell listeners where they can find you. Again.
Yes, it's BonnieHallInc.com, or my telephone number is area code 856-904-5164.
Okay.
Consultations are free.
Oh, that's great to hear
That sounds
too.
good.
Bonnie, thanks so much
Oh,
for
you're
being
so
on Free Coffee.
welcome.
We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed having you
Yep,
on.
thank you
very
so
much.
much. We'll be back after our commercial break with another guest.
Smaru.